Perek HaShutphin Daf Yud Beis, sponsored Lili Nishmas Masha Leah Bas Yoshua. The Gemara distinguishes between rights of an owner to reopen a door with a temporary or permanent seal. One who sealed the door and left its frame, residents of a mavui cannot prevent him from reopening the door. The same is true concerning rights of 4 amos in a courtyard in front of his door. The Gemara applies this distinction to the laws of Tumah as well. The Rabbanan decreed that one who entered 4 amos in front of a grave is Tameh. If the deceased is in a tomb or a house where the door is sealed but the frame remains, one is Tameh only in front of the entrance. However, if the frame was removed, the whole house or tomb is a grave, and the 4 amos rule applies to the surrounding area. The Gemara discusses alleyways in one city leading to roads in other cities, and their residents want them closed. Rav Yehuda says, in the name of Rav, even if there is an alternative way the residents of the other city can cross over, they can prevent the residents closing it because any established shortcut cannot be disrupted. The Gemara now discusses the rights of residents who want to enclose an alleyway opening to a public domain. Reb Zera holds, unlike the laws of Safek Tumah B'Shus HaRabim, that 4 amos beyond the public domain is considered within the public domain in respect to the law of building a door in the mavui. The prohibition extends beyond 4 amos. If the public thoroughfare is congested, pedestrians enter beyond 4 amos to relieve the congestion. Based on the next law of the Mishnah, the minimum size field a partner can force the others to divide, the Gemara expands the discussion to cover other things as well. Number 1, fields. The Mishnah states in Eretz Yisrael there is a machlokas. The Tanna Kama holds a field large enough for both to plant 9 kavs of seed. Rabbi Yehuda holds 9 half kavs. Any field smaller is not worth plowing and sowing. Rav Yosef states regarding Bavel, where oxen were rented by the day, they could divide fields profitably, only requiring full-day plowings. Number 2, water holes. Rav Nachman applies a similar logic used by Rav Yosef regarding fields. Irrigation workers were hired by the day. Therefore, after dividing, there must be enough water for a full day's irrigation. Number 3, vineyards. Avuah Shmuel states in Eretz Yisrael an area to plant 3 kavs or 1,250 square amos. He proves it from a statement of Sumchus. One who sells a portion of a vineyard that does not specify the amount must provide at least 3 kavs. In Bava, the amount is 3 rows, each of 12 vines, an area requiring a full day of hoeing. The Gemara digresses to explain and prove that sages never lost their prophetic power even after the destruction of the first temple. It means a sage's understanding transcends the limits of the human mind. He can reason out a halacha Moshe Sinai, for example, a tradition transmitted by Hashem to Moshe that cannot be inferred from the Torah. The Gemara continues stating prophecy was transmitted to the deranged and children. A deranged person predicted that Mar Bar Rav Ashi would be appointed as the head of the academy in the city of Mechasya, even though the sages intended to install Ravacha. The Gemara proves even children were gifted with prophecy. Rav Chizda's daughter predicted the 2 men she would marry. The Gemara brings 2 other non-related important teachings. Number 1, Rabbi Avdimi states a person cannot be decisive on an empty stomach. Number 2, Rav Huna Braid Rabbi Yeshua states, if a person finds it difficult to open up, express his feelings, drinking wine will make it easier. A Bechor is entitled to a double portion of his father's estate as contiguous properties. This Gemara brings a machlokas whether the same is true for a Yavan who actually inherits 1 portion. His second portion is the deceased brother's. The Gemara in Yavamis explains the verse, V'haya Bechor Asher Teiled, refers to the Yavam, not his son, meaning the firstborn brother has the primary obligation to perform Yibum. Abaya deduces from his reference as the Bechor, he has full Bechor status. Rava holds the preceding word Vahaya indicates his status as a Bechor who receives a double portion, but not the same rights of distribution. He cannot demand both properties be contiguous. The Gemara concludes with 2 cases where Rabbah and Rav Yosef argue, 1, Rav Yosef and Abaya, concerning the rule of Kofin al Midas Sto. Courts force brothers not to copy evil sodomite character traits. Number 1, a brother bought land next to his father's, requested his brothers allow him this land as his inheritance. Rabbah holds the courts force them as long as all the properties were the same value. Rav Yosef disagreed. The quality of land depends also on the amount of rainfall it receives. The brothers can claim this property may receive more. Number 2, 2 brothers inherited 2 fields with an irrigation canal running through it. One brother owns a property next to one of them. Rabbah holds the courts force the other brother to forego that field. Rav Yosef disagreed. The brother can claim he will lose if the canal in his field dries up. Number 3, both properties are irrigated by the same canal. Rav Yosef holds in this case the courts can force the brother to sacrifice the field next to his brother's property since there is one canal. Abaye disagrees. The brother can claim his field being in between the two of his brother. His brother will provide him with more security since his brother will have to hire more workers. In all 3 cases, the halacha follows Rav Yosef. Number 4, if there is a canal on one side and a river on the other side, it is divided into 8 parts, both brothers taking alternative parts. It cannot be divided vertically or horizontally in half equitably. If you enjoyed Daf and 5, please subscribe.